Hi there, it's Oliver Patrice Weder for Westwood Instruments with a video looking at the Novella series. We're going to look at each of those three libraries, we're going to compare them, we're going to look at the highlights, I'm going to play you some of the sounds, and I'm going to show you what the strengths of each of the libraries are. So now each of those libraries is a fully fledged toolkit featuring strings, synths, percussion or drums, guitars and additional instruments. And each of them has a focus on a creative identity, and basically together they form a cohesive cinematic ecosystem. So really they cover up most modern scoring styles, and let me just give you a quick overview of what each of that world looks like. Novella Origin, their first novella, is organic, emotive, and with instruments that feel intimate rather than epic. Let's say it's geared for melancholy, indie films, personal documentaries, and narrative-driven songwriting. It's the one to get if you blend between scoring and record production. If we want to name a few names, it's inspired by artists such as Agnes Obel, Marika Hackman or Lord Huron, and TV dramas like Dark, Broadchurch or The Crown. Novella Blackwater, a personal favorite actually, if I may insert this here. It's the sound of vast landscapes, cinematic Americana and contemporary Western cinema. So it's sort of wide open shots, small towns. It's for stories rooted in geography, grit and survival. Whereas Origin is intimate and internal, Blackwater is expansive, grounded and again wide open. So it's for composers and songwriters that want a contemporary twist on the iconic sound world of American and country. Think Red Dead Redemption, The Last of Us, Yellowstone, Assassination of Jesse James, Shawshank Redemption, or artists like Bon Iver, Bob Dylan, or Gregory Alan Isakov. Then we have Novella Carbon, their latest edition. This is your widescreen sounds made for the dark. It's the boldest and most experimental novella, a palette where industrial electronics collide with raw acoustic performances. It's really a toolkit for modern production, psychological tension and hybrid kind of soundscapes. On this one, they've collaborated with The Unfinished, an industry titan of sound design who collaborates frequently with Hans Zimmer or Lorne Balfe, and he's made sounds for Dune or No Time to Die. So really, you can tell that in the sounds as well. I'll play you some in a second. It's really mind-blowing. So this library is inspired by The Social Network, Stranger Things, Tenets, if you want to name some names, Trent Reznor, Ludwig Göransson, bands such as Radiohead, Nine Inch Nails, Portishead or Massive Attack. So I want to start right away with the piano, because with the piano you can really tell where the sort of the world belongs to. The Origin piano here, it's the Kotzen upright, so it's a Yamaha U3 drenched in sort of like cotton kind of towels, and so it has a bit of a slightly muffled sound. I wouldn't say it's a felt sound. Anyway, just have a listen. So it's a little bit clearer than a felt piano, yet it's still quite intimate. We have a pedal down kind of sound for a more resonant sound, for those of you who love that. Very subtle difference, but quite beautiful. Das piano is just one layer. And then, so if we have a listen to the Blackwater piano down here, it's the Hickory piano, and so that's hugely different, of course. The Hickory piano is a take on the tack piano. The tack piano is a piano where the tuner used to hammer little tacks, little pins into the hammers. And so when the hammers would hit the string, it would make this percussive sound. And they used to do that in saloons and bars and restaurants for the piano to cut through the noise before the amplifications. And so they played the piano with hickory sticks, wooden sticks. And so it has this kind of very distinct sounds here. You have some variations here, for example, some tappings, so that's sort of a swarm. So yeah, definitely very distinct from the Origin library. Then we have Ember here, the Ember piano from Carbon. You know, it's a straight up upright piano recorded without any fuss around it, without hanging anything onto the piano or felting it or hammering things into it. And it's you know, a bold, proud piano. Lovely sounding there, a hidden piano version there of it. Here I would immediately add a bit more reverb here, maybe some key mechanics, some strings, pedal. So this one, you know, apart from the hidden piano, which is a nice addition here on the Carbon as well, so you can go sort of fairly intimate also, but this piano is definitely, you know, modern production right up front sort of piano. So, and let me just very quickly, you have to watch the walkthroughs if you want a really detailed overview over all the instruments of each individual library, but that's sort of the world, and I'm going to run you through each section. So I'm going to compare a little bit the string section and show you which plugin or which version of Novella features which kind of instrument, so you can make a kind of well-informed choice. But let me just show you a little bit the interface, just a quick rundown, because that sort of stays similar in all of them unless it's a special synth or whatever, and I'll show you that as well. But basically you can always, while holding shift, and that's quite important, you can select several articulations. And that's especially important if there's a synth or something like that with different presets, so you can come up with totally new sounds yourself. Then we have over here on the left, we always have the home page here with your mic positions, dynamic expression, so certain additional kind of functions, as like maybe when strings is moving up or down, you can change the direction or an arpeggiator and so on. Then the second page is the effects here. You can see this one is grayed out for this one. But you know, you'll find your delays, your distortions, your tape stuff there. And so if that's your main functions. As for the mic positions, they usually give you a mix that they feel is great. I usually use that one. It's fantastic. You usually have closed room and gallery. Here and there you have other mixes which give you like different effects, for example on vocals or on guitars or something like that. Or you have more pages here with extra mixes. The reverb here, quite cool as well. So it goes from short to very long. So the Eclipse is about 10-20 seconds long, I believe. And then you have more of like a, you know, a very short kind of more natural one. The studio is the most natural, I think. And then you have some other more colorful reverbs there. And then the amount sort of stays the same on most patches actually. So let me just play you a little bit of the Origin strings here. So you have an ensemble and then quite a detailed strings section for your intimate sounds there. Good, just slight, soft, subtle improvisations there. Flautando. Very nice stuff. I love the ensemble patches where you can just... Just a quick look at one of the section sounds, because you have it quite similar on all of them. You have some extra articulations there that are quite useful. Even on the second page, we have actually here, I love this velocity-based improvisation. You can do little performances actually. Is so beautiful. That is so useful. I as a pianist and, you know, sort of like a playing approach, I really love this. Just one more here. Just different variations of these improvisations, and it's quite nice. Or flautando to sul pont, little transitions there. Ah, lets my heart bleed. That is so lovely. If we have a look at the Blackwater string section there, think again, it's like wider open. It's more, you know, sort of like endless kind of, you know, wide horizons, small towns, someone like riding their horse into the no man's land. And you can really kind of feel that when you play these strings here. We have, for example, these dust devils here. Let me get mix 1 up actually here. You can hear it's a similar size ensemble, but the playing technique really puts this whole sound into a different world. These short hairpins are quite cool. Lovely stuff there. They also have more sections, not sort of as detailed, but you know, you have, like, for example, violins and violas and cello. You have, or low strings, you have legato together, and you have less sort of articulations as you would have in Origin. And you can tell it's a little bit more portamento, so it has this kind of more lyrical kind of storytelling feel to it. Then we have a low string section here. You do have a little bit more articulations, but again, I'd say the Origin one string ensemble is more detailed, more intimate. So there's a big difference for you right there. Blackwater has other strengths, such as, you know, a ton of other instruments, and we'll get there, and you see why sort of like one wins over the other if we want to put it into a competitive sort of state. But actually, really, they complement each other. So again, low strings, low stutters, or stutters. sort of measured tremolos. These hairpins, again, I've played them to you. Then what's outstanding here on Blackwater is the gut violin made out of gut strings from the 1800s. So there you have different attacks as well, sort of bluegrass attacks. Longs, and it really puts you in this kind of Americana kind of sound world. Some drones actually here, they're quite nice. Very nicely played and sort of very useful. So that's the string section there in Blackwater. Some really cool stuff. But yeah, sort of the trademark also of this is like sparse orchestrations, usually sparse sort of strings. And I think that really comes across here. If we're gonna move to carbon here, helix ensemble, so that's much more, again, much bolder, much braver kind of sound here. Literally instantly that kind of movement transports you into exactly these sort of like Tenet, Social Network, all the Trent Reznor, Ludwig Göransson kind of vibes. Vesper here. Felt here quite aggressive plucks. These LFO strings are very cool here. Strings with movements here, pulse. Then we have some legato strings here as well. Octave strings here, different to the other strings. Then we have high strings, for example. Much more gritty, dirty kind of stuff here. Then low strings, we have some variations here, some articulations. Some arcs here, I haven't played those to you yet. We also had these hairpin kind of swells in Blackwater, if you remember, but they seem to be much more sort of gentle, again, for the sort of the wider emptiness here, which these ones are much bolder right up front with a bit more a pair of feet. And yeah, so that's the string sections sort of compared. If we look at what's next in Origin, jumping back to the intimate. So we have these the choir here. It's actually a 4-piece alto choir rooted in folk music. And yeah, we have a bunch of improvisations there, which are really, really lovely. So nice. It's like 4 angels using their mix here for another one. Let's say chatters here. We get some shorts as well. Very cool. Velocity-based stuff here. I really like that. I'm going to put the gallery mic, a little bit more reverb. Isn't this lovely? I love this stuff when you just play and I just, wow, that's really nice. Super cool. Getting quite emotional on this one. So Blackwater doesn't actually feature a choir, but I'm gonna actually sort of, not compare it, but the harmonium is the outstanding thing here, and I actually really, really like this harmonium here. Just have a listen. The harmonium has quite a small range, so they stretched it across the whole keyboard, so we can play it, and it sounds rather lovely. And you can actually put the mechanics up a little bit. Just gonna put it full blast for you to hear it. Oh. Can't stop playing. It's just so beautiful. Then we're gonna go to the vocals here on Carbon. Actually, you have it's just a single vocal. It's an experimental vocal. Just gonna give you a little taste of this. I had to write this psychological thriller track with Carbon, and it's just this sort of vocal is just really perfect for this. I'm using the close mic as well. It's quite sort of goes through sort of mark and bone. I like these, for example. So here, for example, they're using effects rather than mic positions, so it's quite very cool. It's a little bit too late in the day to be playing that kind of scary stuff. Someone's knocking outside my studio. Then they've got some... Oh, this one I used. This one's great. Affected. Oh yeah. This stuff is so cool. Really well done, man. That's, yeah, really, really nice. Let's get to the next section here, the guitar section. We have here a guitar tuned to E flat, recorded through a vintage American all-valve combo amp. I'm just going to give you a little bit here. Try the mix. The gallery is quite massive. Lovely tone. That's really nice. And I also really love that horizon verb. On the preset actually here, it comes with a smaller. Muted thumb. Oh, actually, I put a bunch of effects on there. Quite liked it. But yeah, you can get it actually quite soft. Quite small and dry, and up front we have unmeasured pick here. Harmonics are quite nice as well. Again, put a little bit of reverb on here. Very nice. Some useful noises if you want to keep it real and add those in. So very cool, fairly standard upfront guitar. Very, very useful. Blackwater. So now we're going to start our guitar adventure here. So we've got this outlaw guitar, which is a Dan electric guitar played through a Fender tube amp here. Just gonna give you a little bit of an example. Some just normal longs. Again, immediately they capture that vibe here with Blackwater. They always have this pitch shift option in there, which just makes it sound so lush. You lose a little bit of the attack, the twanginess, but, you know, depending on your taste. Palm muted stuff. Chords, very cool. Always useful, some really nice coin tremolos here. Oh, actually, I really like these railhead rings here with this reverb. Super beautiful. Then we've got our next guitar, Fender Telecaster Rails guitar here. I'm just going to play you a couple of bits here. Some slides here. Oh, yes, that's just so that vibe. That's just so good, man. Oh God, brilliant. Very nice. Woolen mutes. Steel acoustic guitar. These rhythms here, they're just unbelievable. It's so cool. It's just, it's brilliant. Really brilliant. Oh, it's great. Wow. Nailed the vibe so much. So great. Nylon acoustic. Oh. Listen to this. It's just so fantastic. So useful as well. I always say guitars is the hardest part to sample, really, but man, they've done such a great job. Then we have a mandola here, which is an octave mandolin. Also really cool here, some rhythms too. Yoo-hoo! This is what you want. Fantastic. Gorgeous trims. I mean, okay, Blackwater definitely has the strongest guitar kind of game, you know, it's unbelievable. If we look at the carbon guitar section, it's a little bolder. It's a Gibson Les Paul here, for example. It's a little more distorted, a little, you know, just a little more out there. Then they have actually an electric bass in there, which I find quite cool as well. So I've done a little setting before here using their effects. So that's the sort of vibe I'm talking about. Really cool. I love that stuff. So again, Carbon is really good for that sort of forward driving, electrified stuff. Blackwater, you just heard it. It's more on the sort of, I mean, it has electric guitar there, but it's really sort of out there with the variations. You have a mandola in there, you have nylon, you have steel, so it's definitely super varied. And then on Origin, you have one electric guitar, pretty straightforward, intimate kind of sound, or intimish kind of sound. So if we compare the synth sounds here a little bit, the synth sections, we have Origin's Wanderlust here, which is the sequential Prophet 5, made famous by Aphex Twin, Kraftwerk, and so on. Just going to give you some examples here of the sounds. You can turn on the glides here, for example, for more like sweeping melodies, turn it into mono. Make it slower. Quite cool. A couple more sounds here. Use some of the functions here. Volume LFO here, pitch LFO, filters, resonance. So what you'd wish on a synth, your usual sort of controls. Couple more. Turn it back to poly. Play a couple more here. So fairly standard kind of synth, very nicely produced, nicely recorded, good controls, very good. Then here with Blackwater, we haven't got really a synth to compare with, but again, I want to just highlight a couple of instruments that stand out here, which is the trumpet here. Again, very, very sort of like Americana, Western kind of tone to it. Very nice. Some cool motifs, actually. Oh, yes. Yeah, nice. That's super useful. Then the harmonica. Can't miss the harmonica in, you know, Americana. We're all thinking the same thing, right? When we hear this. You know which score we're thinking about. Iconic. Ah, it's just very nice. So if that's the Blackwater's sort of synth section, I'd say, is like the trumpet, the harmonica, the harmonium, you know. And then if we go to Carbon, I mean, I think that is just blowing everything out the window because it's done by the unfinished and it's just nuts. Holy fuck! Jesus Christ! Oh my God, I mean, I'm just hitting sort of the random buttons here and getting... Wow, okay, you have sort of like these sweeps or these like sort of like pulsing things. is insane. I mean, Jesus. And I haven't even used the ARP function or added any other effects. I mean, this blows me out of my seat. I mean, go and watch the walkthrough, go and get this thing, have a look. I mean, just because of the motherboard, this thing is insane. I mean, wow. And then, because they thought this synth wasn't enough, they put the Hive in, which is sort of their take on the Swarmatron made famous by Trent Reznor. And, you know, that's again another beast. And we built their own engine and just... Very cool. You can change your individual... So these are like the voices, and you can change the individual sound of the voice, or you can make all of them, for example, a saw wave. It's a little too sci-fi for my taste. Take the glide off there. Oh, wow. Just made it more sci-fi. Okay, maybe that's too much. Oh, wow. Oh, that's cool. Let's get the amount down a bit. Okay. I mean, phew. Okay. I mean, that's just sort of really crazy. I mean, you get the idea. Carbon is your thing to go to if you're after synths and big shit. Okay, last section, the drums and percussion here. Again, Origin is your small, intimate section. It's a big open drum kit with played with bamboos, broomsticks, and felt beaters. It's really nice. It's, you know... standard. Here you can hear the beaters, you know. Very, very nice and useful. Cymbal swells as well. Then here on Blackwater we have oil fields percussion. That's obviously a different vibe, very straightforward as well. Very kind of quirky stuff, you know, nice add-on, I'd say. That's more of a percussion rather than a drum. So sort of Origin and Blackwater together gives you a really nice drum/percussion section to use for sort of organic scoring, let's call it. And then again, Carbon is, you know, really out there with the drums and the percussion. I mean, again, the unfinished just really knocked it out of the park. I mean, hold yourselves. Sort of like just combine them all together, or just, you know, turn the distortion up. Very cool. The second engine here. Wow, I mean, just incredible. Bolts, single hits here. Very cool stuff. Sort of what you heard, but in single hits, so you can combine and make your own grooves. Then they have more of an acoustic drum here, rock kit, and sort of a dead kit with towels on top. That's your dead kit here. Then you have different mixes as well, which is quite important. Much more the room sounds of overheads, I imagine. Oh, this one is nice and tight. Lovely kick sound. Listen to this. Ah, very nice. So I guess Carbon also features a sort of a nice intimish kind of kit as Origin does, so you'd get a little bit more out of Carbon, I guess, if we were to compare. Then what you also have in Carbon is some really lovely atmosphere made out of sort of world sounds and atmospheres here. Slightly unsettling stuff there. I think when you hear that, you're not in a good place. Wow, okay. So, verdict. I think we've played everything here. Yeah, I mean, really, it is what it already says, you know, Origin, sort of intimate, more versatile strings, I would say, than the others. The choir actually is a big plus there, I would say, and the piano is really lovely. So yeah, more the intimate songwritery stuff, producery kind of thing on the Origin. Blackwater, again, very straightforward Americana, this big open landscapes. The guitar game is really strong there. I mean, that is super useful. The harmonium, the trumpets as an extra thing. The harmonica as well really sits in one specific genre there. Then what we have really strong in Carbon, I think, is the synth section and the drum section, and a sort of like massive section in that sense, you know. Also strings, very nice, but definitely the strengths for me are the synths and the sort of the electric and electronic elements there. So I hope that sums it up very nicely for you. Thanks for staying with me. If you have questions, leave them below in the comments section and the Westwood team will definitely get back to you. Thanks again and see you in the next one. Bye bye.